welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey Truxell. I guess I want to talk today about uh, tracking, chronometer, pre-tracking, how not to be caught off guard, how to use my recipes when, you may know this, but I share my recipes on Chronometer. So if you're making, like my red beans, my Louisiana style red beans or something, that's in Chronometer. So instead of you seeing my recipe and going, oh, I'm going to make this and putting every one of the ingredients into Chronometer or creating a recipe in Chronometer, I already done that. All you need to do is look it up and drag it to or insert it into your diary. And it just populates with, if you have one serving, it populates with all the macros. It's really neat. And I'm going to show you about how all that works and just kind of give you a quick lesson on how to successfully track calories and plan. So that's what I'm going to do today. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm using Chronometer, and I'm going to use my phone for this so you can see what I'm doing. I don't use the phone for any of this. I do everything on the computer because the phone's too small of a screen for me to do anything with. I just do it all on my home computer. But I know many of you just use your phones. Chronometer has a desktop version and a phone version. I have no affiliation with Chronometer. I don't get paid for them. There's no commission. There's no discounts. There's none of that stuff. It's just what I use. So I'm going to show you how it works right here. All right, so right here, I'm holding Chronometer. When you log in, it's just sort of this diary page. There's nothing on it right now, but it's tracking your biometrics, your meals, your targets, all of that stuff. And I have a video linked right here that tells you how to set up your macros, where you get all that from, right? So you know what your macros are and what your targets are. I've already put that in here, so that's what I'm doing. All right, here's the first thing I want to go over. First of all, you don't want to track your food while you're eating it. Or you don't want to look in the refrigerator and start making stuff and then track it after you ate it. You want to track your food way ahead of time, and I'll show you why later. But let me just give you an example. I'm going to show you a video on the screen of some guy making a smoothie that's high protein.
Super tasty and super healthy protein smoothie. Follow for more.
All right, and I want you to watch this, and I want you to tell me what you think of this because I think it looks amazing. But there's a lot to this. So watch this.
50 grams of protein without any protein powder, sugar-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, nut-free, all natural, all healthy, super delicious.
Looks great,
protein
right?
smoothie made with super high
No
protein
powder.
edamame beans,
Edamame. Who doesn't want that?
shake. So good. First up, for 1.5 cups of edamame beans.
That's a lot of edamame.
Along with 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 3 bananas, and 2 cups of plant-based milk. Let's blend it until super creamy and rich.
Looks good, right?
Enjoy a super tasty and super healthy protein smoothie. Follow for more.
All right. That looks great. So let's say you see that and you're like, oh, snap, I'm going to make that. This is amazing. And you're like, all right, I'm going to make this smoothie and then I'm going to throw it in the Chronometer. It's super healthy. There's no protein powders. This is exactly what I need, right? I'm going to get my health back on track and start with this meal. All right, great. I've thrown all this in the Chronometer and let's take a look at what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to throw this on the screen here. This is meal number 1, and I made this protein shake. I didn't really. I knew better, but I'm like, all right, I just ate this protein shake, and I'm going to make it, and now I'm going to put it on Chronometer. So here you go. Edamame beans. 1.5 cups of edamame beans is almost 300 calories. It's 280 calories. 3 bananas. A medium banana is about 100 calories, give or take a few calories in the size. So 3 medium bananas, that's another 311 calories. Then you've got the cocoa powder, which really is very low in calories. So for 3 tablespoons, you've got 36.8 calories. And then I used different types of milk in this kind of Chronometer recipe here to get it to his macros. I personally use a very low calorie plant milk, but it's not enough protein. To get to the protein he's talking about, the 50 grams, 53 grams or whatever it is, that has to be soy milk. And there's no other way around it if it's plant milk. So I'm using silk soy original soy milk, and that alone is 200 calories. That protein shake for 50 calories is 834 calories. Now, my max calories is 1400. That's over half of my calories for the day in a glass. So you have to be very careful. You don't want to have your meals and then track. I did this again with an Impossible Burger. Let's look for meal 2. Meal 2, let's say I'm hungry and I'm starving and I'm like, I want to make something like, I don't know, let me open the refrigerator and see what I got. Oh, I've got some frozen Impossible Burgers. They're vegan, right? They've got protein. They've also got a lot of calories and a lot of fat. But let's go with it. So I have the Impossible Burger, and then I put a slice of a BioLife cheese slice on top of that. I don't use any mayo, right? Which, normally I'd put vegan mayo on it or avocado or something to make it creamy. And then I've got, one of those Dave's Killer Buns because everyone seems to have those. And I'm going to have it with something. I can't just have a burger, right? And I'm not going to have fries because I'm not cooking those in oil. So let's just say have a cup of rice, right? A small little cup of rice, brown rice. Great. I feel so healthy. I've had my carbohydrates, I've had my protein. Like, this is amazing, right? Let's look at that meal. So, that meal for the burger and the rice is 655 calories and 31 grams of protein. So now I've had two meals. I've had a shake. Let's say I had that at 8 in the morning. And then for lunch, I'm starving because all I had was a shake, right? And I have that at noon. So I have my Impossible Burger at noon. And now it's 2 o'clock and I'm starving. And let's look at my calories. Now, these are things I just ate because they were there and I tracked them and I did what I'm supposed to do. But I'm at 1,489 calories. And my personal top for calories is 1,400. And I only got 80 grams of protein. And my goal is like 120, 130 every day. I totally blew my protein and my calories, and I am starving and I can't eat anything else for the day. Well, of course, that's not going to work. I'm totally going to eat food for the day. All of this is because I didn't plan. This today will be a complete failure, other than you learn, so you're not really failing. But as far as macros go, today will be a complete failure because it's only noon, and I still have to have like two more meals. I'll go way over my calories. I'll probably get my protein at this point. I'll go, wow, I'm only getting 80 grams of protein. Let me have a protein shake, right? Or let me have something with protein in it, seitan or something, and that will bring it up. You can't track your calories on the go with no plan. You have to know what you're eating before you eat it. Otherwise, this will not work. So, my first tip here is don't just eat and track. Come up with a plan. All right. Tip number one. That leads right into tip number two. I put these on different days. This is next coming Wednesday, so you can kind of see. So it's not today. All right. Tip number two, pre track. Decide your meals the day before. I am an expert at this, and everyone who follows me knows this is what I do. I don't just open the refrigerator and start eating. And one of the issues is because when I go to work, I got to take all my meals with me because I'm a vegan and there's no food at work for me, right? So I have to take my Herman Muncher lunchbox. If you've ever seen any of my week of lunches videos, the teacher edition, I've got my lunchbox every day with all my stuff in it. So if we look at this day right here that I'm kind of pre-tracking for, a future day, it could be tomorrow. I usually do this the night before. I'm going to throw in my lunchbox the first three meals I need. Well, I'm going to throw breakfast and lunch. And in there is going to be, look, I've got the Joey Troxel chocolate protein, high protein overnight oats. By the way, I'll get to this later, but those names of my meals are the names of Cronometer that you can look up, and I've shared them so you can use the macros. But I'll talk about that later. So there's my oats recipe. If I highlight that recipe, that one meal, it's the recipe makes a whole meal. It's a jar of oats. Is 402 calories with 34 grams of protein. I make these meals for the next day. I track this based on what's in my fridge. I'm not going to start making a tofu scramble at 9 o'clock at night because that's what I want to have the next day. I'll see what's in my fridge. If there's a vegan meatloaf in there, then that's what I'm having. But just so you know, that was in my fridge, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this to work the next day. So my tofu scramble, I've got one serving of that, and I think the entire recipe is two servings. But in Cronometer, I have it based into servings. I'm choosing one serving of that, and that's 340 calories, 30 grams of protein. That's really good macros. So then I come home, and if you jump down to snacks, I have a little snack action because I'm going to go to the gym that day, and I'm a little hungry. So I have a banana pudding, and again, I have recipes for all of this on my website. The banana pudding is one serving. It's like a jar, like a mason jar of banana pudding. It's 125 calories and 12 grams of protein. And then I go to the gym, I work out, I come back. It's 7 o'clock. I'm starving, and I have my last meal of the day. And I've eaten plenty of food already today. I've had enough protein. I'm trying to get to around, I don't know, depending on the day, 120 to 140 if it's a workout day or not. I'm just using this as an example. I would adjust this for whether it's actually a workout day, but let's go with it. And then I'm like, I just want a bowl of cereal. I don't feel like I haven't had enough fiber today, and I want to increase my fiber. So I grab a box of Fiber One Original, which, as far as I know, is vegan, and I have just a small bowl of that, 40 grams of it, with some of my touch of almond cashew milk, a cup of that. And I take some frozen blueberries and pop them in there. And I take some frozen strawberries and I chop those up and I throw those in there. And the whole meal is 136 calories with only 4 grams of protein, but it's really low in calories. You could double the recipe if you wanted to. And it's ready to go. Now, I also track my vitamins here. So just take my phone, I scan the vitamins. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And it puts them in there and I put them under supplements. So my vitamins do have a few calories, but at least I know if I look at all my micronutrients later on where it keeps track of everything you've gotten, it'll show that I got, whatever was in those vitamins. So that helps me to stay on track also. All right, so you can see that all my meals are in place. Now, if I just kind of go up to the top of the screen and I hit that area that says nutrition scores, I'm just going to click in the middle of it. It'll bring up like everything I've had. You can see I've got a lot of greens, but I'm missing a few things, copper, beta carotene, some of the other stuff. So tomorrow I want to make sure that I include whatever vitamins I need for that or change my meals around if I need that. Now, if I just, again, click on that area, it's going to say, hey, do you want to view your report or do you want a daily report? And I do. So I'm going to hit daily report and I'm going to get just kind of a breakdown of my macros. So calories consumed, 1,244. And that's about where I want to be if it's a day that I'm not working out. If a day I'm working out, then about 1,400. Calorie expenditure, now 1,300 is my minimum. That's my, when I just wake up every day and what I'm expected to start with every day. This is for a few days later, right? Or tomorrow or whatever. So I've not burned any calories that day yet. So, but eventually when I get to that day, it'll show me what I actually burned if I'm wearing my Apple Watch and all that stuff because it all syncs up. And then as I move down here, you can see the macronutrients. You can see that I got 1,244 calories out of my 1,300 max for that day. You can see my protein is 113.5 out of 130. It wasn't perfect, but it was over 100 grams, which was great. If I were planning this, I'm just showing you how it works. But if I'm planning this for tomorrow, I'm changing that a little bit to give myself more protein. Carbohydrates, I really don't worry too much about. And fat, I just try and keep it under 38 grams, and I think we're good. So when I look at this on paper, this is a successful day. I know what I'm having that day. I bring it with me, except for the stuff at home that I'm eating, and that's ready to go. And I really can't mess this up unless, of course, I just start snacking on stuff that that's not part of this. So pre-tracking avoids me opening the fridge, looking what's there to eat, eating it, and then putting it in and realizing I shouldn't have eaten that. It's the macros are horrible. Now, here's how you add food, just like something on the barcode. I've got one of these only what you need shakes, and it's got a barcode right here. So I'm just gonna go to Cronometer, and so I've got the page here, and I'm just gonna on the screen here. You can see there's a plus button right down here. I'm gonna press the plus button. And then this menu comes up. Hey, do you want to add the food by typing the name of it, like an orange or a banana, something that doesn't have a barcode? Or do you want to like scan it, right? So I'm going to click on scan, and then I'm going to hold the phone, right, at the barcode right here. And it's just going to click, and there you are. You can see that it found the drink, and people have put this in. That's why there's two examples, but they're both the same. All right, so I'm just going to click on the first one because they're both the same. And then in here it says amount. How many of these little containers have I had? They're 11.5 ounces or something. How many of these did I have? Well, I'm just having one. It tells you right there 11.15 ounces, I guess. And what time am I having it? Well, it's noon. And what group do I want to put that in? I can pull that down and do meal one, and it'll add it to meal one. I've learned not to call my meals breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I don't always have them that way. So, and then I'm going to go to the bottom and click add to diary. And now you can see in my diary, right? I've got this only what you need protein drink and 200 calories. So meal one right now, if that was all I had, which was that wouldn't do it, but it would be 200 calories, 32 grams of protein, and I'm ready to go. And I just keep putting stuff in all day long as I eat it. Even if I'm like snacking on something, I scan the package and I put in, if a serving is 14 chips, I eat the 14 chips and then put in the serving, and that's it. If I only have half of a serving, then I put where the serving is, instead of a 1, I put a 0.5. All right. So you can do all that and it keeps track of it for you. So all of that pre-tracking, knowing how to do this, that's tip 2, making sure that you plan ahead of time. Diet, exercise, and sleep. The trifecta of health. Many of us concentrate on the first two, but we don't do enough about the most important piece of all, the sleep. If you're like me,
trying to juggle work, life, and late night screen time, you know how hard it can be to actually shut down and get quality rest. That's why I started using Complement Restore. And honestly, it's been a total game changer. This is a 100% plant-based, melatonin-free sleep support system made by Complement. And if you're avoiding melatonin because of all the weird dreams and grogginess it gives you, trust me, this is exactly what you've been looking for. Instead of forcing you to sleep like melatonin does, Complement Restore helps your body naturally get into a relaxed, sleep-ready state. It all starts with magnesium glycinate, a highly absorbable form of magnesium that helps calm your muscles and reduce stress, increasing your sleep quality for a deeper sleep. Next, we've got magnesium taurate. It supports a calm mind and a healthy system function to help you wake up less throughout the night once you're asleep. Next is L-theanine, which is found in green tea. It's an amino acid that promotes a balanced mental state to help you fall asleep faster. It helps you quiet that mental chatter so you're not lying in bed replaying your entire day. Oh man, I should have said that. Next is reishi, a mushroom traditionally used to support stress management and immune health. And it's been known to lower cortisol levels. There's some apigenin chamomile flower extract, which supports relaxation and a sense of calm before bed by providing digestive support to your body. The magnesium L-theanate supports cognitive function and healthy sleep patterns. There's also some ashwagandha, which helps the body adapt to stress and support a calm and balanced mood, which is really important when you're trying to sleep peacefully. Throw in some curcuminoids to support a healthy inflammatory response and joint comfort. The passion flower extract is used to support relaxation and healthy sleep cycles. There's valerian root extract, which supports restful sleep and relaxation by promoting a calming nervous system. And finally, they've thrown in some black pepper extract, which enhances nutrient absorptions, including with the cumin. That's the key difference. Complement Restore works with your body to help you fall asleep, not against it. You fall asleep more naturally, you stay asleep longer, and you wake up feeling refreshed and restored. You just mix Complement Restore powder with some hot water to create like a semi-sweet golden latte flavored tea. It's delicious. And it's super affordable. One package gives you a month of restful nights for about $1 a day. And it's Complement, so of course there's no fillers, there's no animal products, there's no junk, just clean, effective ingredients that actually work. I partnered with Complement to offer you 15% off on your next and future orders of Complement products, including Restore. Use the link in the description below this video and the code plant-based dads at checkout. So if you're ready to stop tossing and turning and finally get full body recovery, immune support, and sharper focus, try Complement Restore. Trust me, your well-rested future self will thank you. Stop supplementing and start complementing. You'll be glad you did.
Let's go to tip number 3 here. Tip number 3 here is you can use my shared recipes. So here's how this works. Let's go into a day I haven't done anything yet with. Let's go to Wednesday the 25th. All right, it's Wednesday the 25th of September, right? And I'm going to make Joey Troxel's chocolate high-protein peanut butter oats because they look so good, and they are, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I've got a blank screen in front of me on Cronometer. I'm going to go to meal 1 and hit the little plus sign. And I'm going to do add food. Now, there's all the recent foods you've eaten. So it just kind of lists them. But I'm just going to go up in the search tab. And here's the cool thing about my recipes. If you're making one of my recipes that are in Cronometer, just type my name. Type in Joey Troxel. And all my recipes are called Joey Troxel something, right? If you know you're having, now if you don't want to look through all these, if you know you're having the oats, so you can do Joey Troxel oats, right? And only the oat recipes will come up. And this one here, the very first one, Joey Troxel, chocolate, peanut butter, high protein, overnight oats. That's the one. I'm going to click on that. and it's going to say, hey, how many of these are you having? Well, the recipe in Cronometer is for one. So if you make the whole recipe, you're having one serving. If you make two of them, you're having two servings, but the whole recipe is one. And in Cronometer, it tells you if you go to the recipe page how that works. So full recipe, 381 grams. I don't know what the grams come out. It all depends on what you're making. But I'm going to say yes. I'm taking that. I'm going to add that to diary. And notice it added it to meal one. It says, hey, you've had 402 calories, 34 grams of protein. Then you're like, all right, I'm hungry. It's meal two time. Let me snack there. And you go plus add food. And you could scan something, but instead you're adding actual food instead of scanning something that you've made. And you're like, oh, that Joey Troxel, he's got some great recipes. Let me make and let's say you made these and you're going to eat these. Let me make his high protein meatloaf. So I'm going to do meatloaf. Did I call it meatloaf? Yep. I'm going to make Joey Troxel's protein meatloaf. And there it is right there. So I'm gonna click on that. Now the meatloaf, I believe, makes 4 servings. So the whole recipe makes 4 servings. And one serving, I wouldn't worry too much about the grams because it all depends on how much, a finished recipe, the grams are hard to measure. So, but just know that if you made the whole meatloaf and you're having one of the 4 slices, that's one serving. So I'm going to leave it at 1, and I'm just going to click add to diary. And here it is, meal 2. There's my meatloaf, right? Looking pretty good, right? All right. And then meal 3, let's say you're hungry and you want to add some food. So you add some food there. And I'm going to make one of my other recipes. Maybe you're going to have my chocolate brownie, my chocolate protein brownie. So let's see what's that's all about. You're going to do the Joey Troxel skillet protein brownie. So good, guys. And you're going to do a full recipe. The whole brownie, right, is a full recipe. And it is 46 grams of protein. Like it is a protein brownie. Let's say you only want half of it. Great. I'm only going to have half because I don't like too much chocolate, as if. So we're going to do 0.5. I'm going to have half of this recipe and I'm going to click add it to diary. All right. So now under meal 3, it puts my skillet brownie, half of a full recipe. So half the recipe for 243 calories. So do you see how you do not have to type in, a quarter cup of flour, like a teaspoon of vanilla. You don't need to do any of that. I've already done it all for you. I've made recipes so you can have them. And now it's all free. Like I don't charge for anything. Like my website isn't behind a paywall. YouTube it's not a subscription. And this is all free. But we have to be friends on Cronometer. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. So you just go through your life, right? And you add all this stuff in as you're going. And that's it. So pretty cool, huh? That's something I do for you, and I hope you take advantage of it. So tip number 3 is this. Use my recipes. Use my shared recipes that I share with you. When you're tracking, making a recipe doesn't mean you need to do making one of my recipes doesn't mean you need to go through a lot of work and start entering stuff in Cronometer. A lot of people share their recipes with you. None of them are putting it in Cronometer and sharing with you for free. So that's something that only I'm doing. All right. All right. Tip number 4. You can move items around in Cronometer. Let's say that meal number 1, that high protein overnight oats, you're actually having that for meal number 4. All right. So you can press down on the meal and hold it and drag it down to meal number 4. And now it's meal number 4. All right. So that's pretty easy. You just move stuff around, hold it. You can also copy this meal to another day. I know it's only one item, but let's say the meatloaf. Let's say there were a bunch, like I had meatloaf, and then I had broccoli to go with it. In fact, let's add that in there. Let's go ahead, click the plus and do add food and just put in broccoli. And we'll just do broccoli from frozen, broccoli cooked from frozen. We'll do a cup of that. We'll add it. All right. Broccoli, by the way, has a decent amount of protein in it for a vegetable. All right. So now I've got 2 items in this meal too. All right. And let's say I want to copy this to tomorrow. I'm going to eat the same meal tomorrow. I mean, it's only 2 items. I could just pop it right back in, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to come over to meal 2, swipe it to the right a little bit, and I'll get 3 little dots. Do you see that? I'm going to click on the 3 dots, and there's a bunch of options for a menu here. Add a timestamp. Let's say you copy the meal to tomorrow, but you don't have it at the same time. Well, I'll go over that. Add a timestamp, copy yesterday's group, copy to today. If you're copying it to today, you just have to click copy to today and it'll add it to today. If if you went back and did it from yesterday. If you're copying it to tomorrow because you're planning tomorrow's meal, then just choose copy. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to choose copy, right? And now I'm going to go to Friday, the next day. Let's say I'm planning for Friday, right? And then go to meal 1 and move that over, and I'll have my 3 menu. And since I've copied something, I now have the option to paste, and there it is. And it's now moved that, hasn't moved, it's copied that meal over to Friday, the next day. And now I know I'm going to have that on Friday, so I can start planning. So there's some really cool features in Cronometer that you could use to to help you navigate this a lot better. Now, if you want to add a timestamp to the meal, you can swipe over to the right, click on the 3 dots, and do somewhere there's a timestamp here. Yeah, add group timestamp. There you go. And you can put the time of day you're having that. Click OK, and then it'll update it to show what time you had the meal. So it says right there, 12:10. That might be important because if you're copying it from breakfast, like sometimes I'll have cereal for breakfast, and then I'll copy that cereal to the next day to right before bed. It's going to show like 8 a.m. on the day that I had it right before bed, and I may not want that to happen. So I may want to go in and change the timestamp and show it all at 8 p.m. or something. So there you go. All right, that's how I stay successful tracking on Cronometer. All right, so how do you use my macros, my recipes? How can you make one of my recipes and not have to go in and type out like, all the things that I've typed out? Well, let me show you how. There's 2 ways to do this. Both of them involve us being friends on Cronometer. You can either, if you're on Cronometer Pro, just send me a friend request on Cronometer Pro. Go to sharing and send me a friend request. I will add you, and then you'll have access to my recipes. Or if you're not on Cronometer Pro, and I don't get paid from Cronometer, so I don't care if you join Cronometer Pro or not. If you're not a Cronometer Pro, I can add you from my end because I'm a pro member, and I can share with you. So what you would do is you would go to your email account, and whatever account you're using for Cronometer, you'd want to give me that email address. For instance, I'm using plantbasedads@gmail.com. So if you email Joey, actually, don't put my name. If you email plantbasedads@gmail.com and in the email go, hey, Joey, I'm following your recipes. I would love to have access to your macros and recipes. Here's the email address I'm using on Cronometer. And you put your name there. And I always respond to those emails. I'll be like, hey, thanks for blah, blah, blah. Then I will go into Cronometer and add you with that email. And then you will have access. You'll get a friend request from Cronometer from me, and you will have access to my emails. Once we are friends on Cronometer, then you can look up my recipes like I showed you. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do the friend thing. On the screen on Cronometer, you can see that. You click on the bottom right where it says the 3 dots and more, and you go to sharing. Now, again, you have to have Cronometer Pro, or I have to add you. But if you have Cronometer Pro, just click on friends, and you can see I've got a bunch of friends, which I'm going to have to wipe that out. And you're just going to go to add, I guess, right? That's the little plus sign on the top. And you'll click on that and you'll type in my email, plantbasedads@gmail.com. If you're on Cronometer Pro, you type my address there, my email address there, that'll send a friend request to me and I'll approve it. If you're not a Cronometer Pro, then you're just going to email me from your email address and say, hey, add me with this email address, and then I'll add you from my end. All right. So those are the options right there. But once we're friends on Cronometer, whether you're pro or not, you'll be able to share my recipes, and you'll be able to share yours with me if you want. And some people have done that, which is really kind of cool. It gives us a much bigger database of being able to help each other and work together. All right. So those are my tips for Cronometer. That's how you add my recipes. So many people keep asking me this. How do I friend you? How do I get your recipes? How do I get your macros? Cronometer isn't set up for you to make the recipe from. So, like for instance, when I put in the recipe in Cronometer, I don't put water, I don't put spices because they don't have any calories, right? I just put in the stuff that causes the calories, so it changes the macros. You want to make the recipe from the website, plantbasedads.net. That's where the actual recipe is. Go there, whatever the recipe is. Let's say it's a peanut butter overnight oats. You go to the recipe, you bring up the page. There's a printable document on the page where you can just print it or save it and make it right from there. That's the actual recipe. Cronometer is not the actual recipe. Don't make it from Cronometer. Just use Cronometer for the macros, all right? Because I don't always put all the ingredients in there I don't if they don't have any calories, all right? All right, that's our video for today. I'm sorry, I'm just looking down at my window because that's where it is, but the camera's up here. But that's our video for today. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click on that bell. You get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday. Leave a comment below. Right after this video is over, Lex is going to edit it. And then Tim and I are going on a 5-day cruise without Lex because he didn't want to go out of LA to Mexican Riviera, which I'm very excited about. Our first vacation by ourselves in 18 years. And it's a school holiday, Monday and Tuesday. It's a Jewish holiday. Thank you to all my Jewish friends. And I took off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so we can do this. So I'm very excited. We're going to cruise along. If you remember a few years ago, we went on a cruise with April to Bermuda, and we did the Venezia, the Carnival Venezia, and we're doing the sister ship, the Firenze. They didn't have any vegan food on that ship. Well, they didn't have a vegan menu. I had to find my own vegan food, but I heard that now they have a vegan menu at the main dining room, which would be very exciting. And on the Venezia, there was a restaurant that had like a chickpea thing, and it was only open like, during 11 a.m. to 2 on sail days, right? Like on the days that you're sailing, that you're not in port. It was the stupidest schedule, and it was the best place to get food for me, and I could only get it twice. Like, it was horrible. But anyway, I'm expecting my experience to be a little different. I'm going to vlog it, and that'll be an upcoming video, and I'll keep you all updated. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.